everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy. You know why? Because I went to the hair store the other day and they got my color. Y'all know I've been waiting for this color for forever. That's why y'all ain't seen me in this color. This is my favorite color that they had and I got it. Boom. I'm so freaking excited because a month ago they only had 2 packs and my head is kind of big. It's y'all's fault for making it big because I didn't know it's really my fault because I be in the mirror all the time like, bitch, look at you. So yeah, got 2 packs and I was like, I need 2 more packs just to be on the safe side. Went back almost every other week from that month. I think it was over 2 months ago when I got this hair because I was like, I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it while it's there. Went back on, what was that day? Tuesday or Wednesday, I went there and they had the color but didn't have the length. So I came back and I was like, oh, okay, it's out by 2 inches. I can make it work. I can put the short in the back, long in the front. Is that gonna work? So I went back yesterday and got it, girl. Got it. When you see it, I don't give a fuck what you think, because it's my color. Honey, I'm excited. Okay. I'm just shining. We're about to be watching TikTok horror stories, so let's get into it.
Hi, so I live in Japan, right? And I used to live in a city called Ishinomaki, and I have quite a few ghost stories from this, but my favorite one is the one that I completely cannot explain, and that is, long story short, I was on this app called Clubhouse, and I was in one of those rooms, and they were talking about like ghosts and demons and stuff like that, and I got really like into the paranormal stuff because I'm kind of witchy, and I wanted to see like what can happen. But I didn't do anything. I just listened and, talked about past experiences from my childhood. And so that night, I went to sleep. And you'd have to know me to know that I hate cigarettes. Like, I will cross the street if a person is smoking a cigarette. I cannot stand the smell of them. So, child, how about I woke up and I had like a one bedroom apartment with a sliding door that opened into the living room and the kitchen. And I woke up and I smelled smoke in my apartment, knowing damn well I live by myself and my windows are closed. So I know nobody's smoke is coming in from outside, and I don't live on a major street. I live in the Ishinomaki. It's like the countryside, and I live by a river. So like I know there's no way that there's smoke in my apartment. I'm like, surely I'm hallucinating. But whatever. I get up, I open my sliding door to go to the kitchen and get something to drink. Y'all, now I'm not no liar. I didn't see a ghost. But what I did see was a damn cloud of cigarette smoke sitting above my couch. Like somebody was sitting on the couch smoking a cigarette. And I said, oh hell no. I believe in ghosts and spirits. So I told him or her, probably him, because I know older Japanese men love to smoke. I said, I don't know who you are or what you want or how you got here, but you got to get the hell out of here. I opened the the balcony door, and I started fanning the smoke out of my room. And I swear to God, y'all, I heard a person make a groaning sound like they was irritated, and it sounded like it was moving out the door. And that's it. That's my first ghost story. I got a few more, but that's like the least scary one. But if you want to hear more, let me know. Okay, so second part of my Ishinomaki Japan horror story, because I had some crazy times. Forgive me, my cat just jumped off his cat tower. But anyway, so the next part is, and I swear to God, this is true. This is so crazy, and I have never told. Well, I told a few people, but I haven't told many people about this because you might think I'm crazy or that I'm schizophrenic, and I'm not. I promise. So what had happened was I used to love to go to like the convenience store in the middle of the night, like what I call the witching hour, like around 1, 2, 3 a.m. And this particular night, it had been storming real bad, and it was like a cool, breezy night, and the rain finally stopped around like 1 a.m. And around 2, I was like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm feeling a little peckish. So I'm going to go on down to the convenience store and find some food. And food I did not find. Well, I did find food, but what I found was even crazier. So the convenience store was like a good 12-minute walk from my house. I had to go down this long, dark road, and then there was like a main road with the grocery store and the convenience store, and it kept going. Mind you, this is not Tokyo. This is Ishinomaki. This is a countryside town. There is few and far things between my apartment and the grocery store. I mean, the convenience store. Like, most people have cars, right? And I had a bike, but this particular night I wanted to walk. So I take my crazy stuff on out here at the middle of the night, and I had like this spooky wooky feeling, like something was not right. But I was like, okay, no problem. No problem. There was this man behind me, y'all, biking on his bicycle, but I never turned around and looked at him because I just had that feeling. If you know what that feeling is, then you know what I'm talking about. Like that feeling like, oh, I better not look because it's going to get me kind of feeling. But it's Japan at the same time. I'm thinking, ain't nothing wrong. It's just the countryside, and I'm just being paranoid. Like, nothing's going to happen. I'm literally in the countryside in Japan where it's, like, pretty safe, especially for a grown man. Like, I was way bigger than I am now. So, like, I would kind of be intimidating to the average guy back then, anyway. So, child, I hit that corner to turn towards go down to the convenience store, and he hit that corner too. And like it's almost like I don't know how in God's name he did it. He was from like went from behind me to like across the street in front of me. And y'all, I looked at the man and I saw a full human body and no head. I swear to God, there was a hoodie, but the hoodie was like halfway on. It was just like darkness in there, and I said, "Oh my God, what the hell was that?" And when I tell you, my fat ass, I'm not fat no more, but I was fat back then. And baby, when I tell you, I sprinted to that convenience store. I still got my snacks though, but child, that was some scary crap. And I was like really freaked out. And I don't get freaked out easily. Like in my last video, I told you about the smoke in the living room from the ghost or whoever. That didn't freak me out. I was just like, get out of my house. But this one freaked me out because what was following me looking like the Grim Reaper on the bike? I don't know. But anyway, that's my second scary story. I have more. Follow and comment if you want more.
Boo. Bow! First of all, love, congrats that you lost weight, just lost weight too. You know how you could tell when somebody lost weight? Like, what's her name? Natasha on Love is Blind UK. So I was gonna do a reaction video about that because I was watching. The only reason why I watched it is because I wanted to see Kenny JD. If y'all don't follow her on YouTube, go follow her. She's funny. Millennium, and you can tell. I wanted to see her react to it. And when I got to her reaction, I watched that whole thing. Y'all know, if you've seen episode 1 and 2, that was boringish. That was so boring. Even got my mom to watch it just so I could watch Kenny's reaction video just to be disappointed. I was so disappointed because I have strong feelings about that season. And I understand, like, I'm the type of person who can, like, hear others people's perspective and be like, yo, I did not see it like that. Okay, okay. No. I was strong in my feelings about that. The fact that Kitty didn't even talk about Demi 2.0, Demi came for it on a reunion. I was like, Demi, yes, boo. Who this? Who this? That bitch. That bitch. She was on it. Loved it. And Kenny didn't say nothing about that. So I was like, I'm gonna do a reaction video, but lazy. So yeah. Cause y'all know Nastasha. She was like, oh yeah, we was big. But we could tell that she was big back in the day because of those calves. You know those calves. You know when you see a white girl, she thick. Thick. She got calves. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Love that you lost weight. And check out my book if you haven't already. Yo, get it. Anyway, getting off topic. I know I be doing this. I go on a tangent. I just found out the other day that I might have a little case of ADHD. Crazy. So let's go back to story 1. First of all, why that goes to yo? How did it get to your house, honey? And I would have been highly upset if that ghost was in my house smoking cigarettes. I'd be like, oh, you gotta go. Like, smoking in my house? The audacity, honey? And then get upset? Because I say you gotta go because smoking in my house, honey. You better be lucky you ain't get a beat down for smoking in my house. You wilding out. I wish somebody would light up anything in my house. In my house, honey. Okay, second story, honey. I have felt that feeling of, oh, I don't want to turn, I don't want to look under the bed, I don't want to look in the closet. But you know what I do? I do it anyway, cause nothing about to get me. Nothing about to roll up on me, honey. You gonna get got before I get got, honey. I need you to understand that. Like, I was mowing the grass the other day, and this guy just pulled up in front of the house, circled around the block 3 times. And I was like, mama, I got his license plate. Like, you ain't gonna get me. You ain't gonna get me, honey. You thought. And he came up to my mom. I was like, I'm just test driving this car. Okay. We're not dumb, honey. I was listening to crime podcast. Yeah, no. So yeah, I would have turned around and made sure I could ID this person. Cause you know I was taking a mental note of what this. I still know what this. I can draw a sketch of it. Cause y'all know I'm a drawer. I don't draw like that, but I'm really good at it. Back in the day, I don't know if I'm still in. You know, you lose it, you use it or you lose it. But yeah, would have definitely. And I applaud you for still getting your snacks. Cause I would, even if I was scared, I was like, I gotta eat now. I'm scared. I gotta eat. So yeah, be safe, friend. In Japan, I heard it's lit there, and I'm trying to make it out there. But that's a long plane ride, bro. Long one.
This is a long story, so bear with me. Growing up as a kid, before I became known a lot for fighting, I was bullied a lot. And a lot of the times I wasn't raised by my mom. I was raised by my aunts and uncles and cousins. So I moved around a lot of different houses, and that plays a big part in the story. So the story begins with me living with aunt number 1. And around this time, it was the winter time, Charlotte, North Carolina. Kids not used to getting a lot of snow. So we're at the bus stop waiting for our bus, and the kids began to engage in a snowball fight. Side note, this was in the 6th grade, so I was around 11 or 12 for reference. I'm not really engaging with the kids. Like I said, I was bullied a lot, so I really didn't get along with them. I'm standing off to the side, and all of a sudden, they begin to turn their snowball fight against me. So as they're throwing snowballs at me, I begin to run down this long steep hill. And once I made it to the bottom of the hill, out of nowhere, 3 large ass dogs just start chasing me out of nowhere. So now here I am trying to run up the hill with 3 big ass dogs chasing behind me and snow that I'm not used to. And the kids that were throwing the snowballs at me, they're running, hiding for cover, waiting for the bus to come, and I'm by myself. So just when I was starting to lose breath and get halfway up the top of the hill, out of nowhere, I see something out the corner of my left eye, and simultaneously me and all of the dogs stopped, and we all looked to the left, and there was a little girl standing behind one of the houses, and she went shh, and out of nowhere, the dogs just take off running. So at this point, the bus is already here, and apparently the bus driver had been sitting there waiting for me to get on the bus after staring at the little girl. And when I get on the bus, she asked me what are you staring at? And I was like, there's a little girl behind the house, and she helped get the dogs off of me. Now on the bus, I'm starting to process what just happened, in the little girl, and who the hell was she? Now on the bus, I'm processing what just happened. And one thing that stuck out in my mind was how I noticed that when I saw the little girl, she didn't have any shoes on. She was barefoot. She had on a long white dress, shoulder length brown hair, and something about her skin was pale, really pale. Not thinking much of it. I ain't tell nobody. I'm a kid. I went by my business. Later in that week, my sister comes to spend the night with me at my aunt's house. And how my aunt's house is set up, there's the living room, and then there's a hallway that leads to the bathroom. And at nighttime, that hallway gets really, really dark, you can't see down it. So me and my sister, we were laying on the couch. I was on one couch, she was on another. And out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, she jumps on me and just starts wailing and screaming. And so my aunt come in and she's like, what's wrong with you? And my sister was like, I could have sworn I just saw something coming down the hallway. Side note, my sister at the time was definitely afraid of leprechauns. So as a kid, she described it as leprechaun coming down the hallway. So fast forward, I'm now in the 7th grade. I'm living with aunt number 2. So aunt number 2, God bless her, will always keep a lot of kids in the home. Like she was always taking in like me, my other cousins, like other kids that were less fortunate. And we will all be raised in this house with my aunt and my uncle. So one night, me and all of the other kids of the house, like we decided that we wanted to sleep downstairs in the living room on the floor. And how it was that her living room was in the middle, kitchen was off to the left, and then to the right was upstairs, rest of the bedrooms. So this is like 3 o'clock in the morning, and me and my cousins are dead cold sleep, and out of nowhere, I feel on my shoulder. It wasn't a hard tap, but like it was a tap that like got my attention. So thinking it was one of my cousins, I look up and I see this little girl standing over me, and like something about her, like her aura was like glowing. And mind you, like we're in a pitch dark house, but like I can see her and like everything that's like in her circumference like illuminated. So after making eye contact with the girl, she leans over, looks me in my eyes and says, "Are you ready to go yet?" I was so scared. I didn't scream. I didn't holler. I just like took the cover and like just hurried up and put it over my head. And that's how I slept for the rest of the night. Like clockwork for years, no matter what house I went to, no matter what family member I was staying with, this girl, whether it be like months, whether it be years down the line, she would randomly pop up, 3-tap me, and lean over in my face and ask me, was I ready to go? The final time I physically saw her, I was maybe in like the 11th grade, and I was now living with my cousin. And at this point, now it's like me, my sister, my brother, we're all back together. I'm in one room. My sister is sleeping in another room. Like clockwork, "Are you ready to go yet?" Usually I put like the covers over my face and I just like hide up under the cover until like daylight. But this time, like I couldn't take it. I just started like screaming and wailing and yelling. And then next thing I know, my cousin's husband like come into the room because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and he is like cussing me out. So I finally tell him like, it's a girl that has been following me. She keep tapping me and she keep asking me like, am I ready to go? Like I am terrified. Of course they didn't believe me. So a few minutes later, my sister comes into the room and she tells me like when she was like leaving out of her room, she was walking past the room that I was sleeping in and she heard me like screaming for my life and like it really terrified her. In the midst of that conversation, I just so happened to like feel a burning sensation on my foot. So when I looked down, like the skin on my big toe was like missing. Like it looked like somebody had like scraped it off. There was like nothing around the bed. Like at this point, there was not even a headboard for like me to even scratch my toe. So that really terrified me. So fast forward, I am now in college, in culinary school. I'm living with my best friend and our classmates, and we're just sitting around like sharing ghost stories. And then I proceed to tell them about the little girl that follows me. In the midst of that conversation, like something in our back pantry like fall, and we go in there and it's the broom that has been sitting upright. It's like now on the floor. And one of my roommates like joke around and be like, "Ha ha, that's just Jessica." They named her Jessica. Later in that week, that same roommate came home that night. It told me that while she was driving, she just so happened to look up in her rear view and she saw a little girl sitting in her back seat. And that was the last time anybody ever physically saw Jessica. Now, fast forward to 2019, like I'm getting big in my spirituality and I get really close to a psychic. This psychic decides to give me a reading. And as we're talking, she asks me out of nowhere, like, who is the little girl? Me thinking she's talking about my daughter, I started talking about my daughter and she was like, "No, not her. There's another little girl." So then I proceed to tell her about the little girl that used to follow me. And then out of nowhere, she stopped me and was like, "Yeah, that used to be your guardian angel, but she doesn't like you anymore. And the reason why she don't like you is because a while ago, you allowed your friends to make fun of her and named her, and that wasn't her name. And she didn't like it." Still to this day, I wonder who that little girl was and what she would have done if I would have told her yes to her question of, was I ready to go yet? And I'm sorry for calling you Jessica. If you like that story, I have plenty more. Astral projections, that man. Oh, and the time where I once worked at a famous haunted resort and I let their co-workers talk me into going to a slave church. Don't get used to this content though.
Y'all heard that last thing? Ain't no way. Well, shoot, I live in North Carolina. Shit. Bro, when you realize it's like, yo, I live in North Carolina. We still picking cotton. We still picking cotton and tobacco. We farmers though. We own the stuff. That's the difference. That's the difference, honey. Girl, oh yeah. Follow these creators. They have really good stories. Like I kind of want to know the rest of the stories, especially when she lived and she went in there. What you doing, honey? What you doing astral projecting? Y'all know I'm into the dreams now because I want to know what's going on. Honey, we've all seen leprechauns in the hood and we were all terrified. We were all terrified. This is another reason why I'm like, y'all, you leave those redheads alone. I'm about to get this red out my hair. I'm about to get this orange out because, honey, what? Who? So when she first told the story about the running from the dolls, I was like, okay, guardian angel, love it. But when the guardian angel kept on coming to her like, are you ready to go? It's just like, because the first thought is like, go where? But you know the answer, so you're not going to answer the question. You're not going to ask the question because you know the answer, honey. So yeah, no, we know what she was saying. If you would have said yes, you wouldn't be here anymore, honey. Like, that's what I think. That's what I think. What do y'all think? Excuse me for sneezing because I don't know if you noticed the allergies. I just told you I was mowing the grass, and now I've always been allergic to grass, but it's serious now. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, honey, I'm glad you didn't go. And why y'all name her? Why y'all name her? You don't name your ghosts, honey. You don't name them. You don't even ask them what their name is. I mean, respectfully, because yeah, she was upset. She could have done worse, honey. She talking about the therapist was like, who this little girl? Oh, so you know about her? Honey, when she said they named her, y'all playing, y'all, I was just like, oh shoot. The wrong move. I'm glad that you good. You hear stories of people say, oh yeah, my guardian angels, my ancestors told me to do this and I didn't do it. But with the ancestors, you hear people be like, yeah, they was upset. So yeah, they stopped talking to me for a while. But she started acting up a little bit, like knocking over stuff, popping up in your friends' cars, trying to scare them. Because imagine, you in your car, you look in your rear view and you see a little girl. Y'all remember that story where she was Asian, half Asian or whatever, and she saw that little Asian girl in her back seat? But that was good because she survived that wreck or whatever happened. I forgot the video. We've seen so many videos, but y'all remember that video, honey? Yeah. Don't name your ghosts. Subscribe.